Hi, this is Debra Sayble-Thornbrugh, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to use tables and charts in a PowerPoint slideshow. Now, I can't show you absolutely every detail, but I'm going to show you the basics. And I'm also going to show you a couple of tips that you might not know. First of all, in this slideshow that you see here, I've got one slide on my screen. I'm in the normal view, and there's already a table here in this slide. But what if I don't want to use this particular table? What if I want a different kind? Well, I can delete the table, but then I don't have it as a resource anymore. Well, guess what you can do? You can click on the table and uh, watch what I do as I move my mouse around. It turns into all these different little icons. You want to catch the table on the edge of it so that your mouse is pointing to a quadruple little pointing arrow with four directions in it, like this one. And once you catch that icon, you click and drag your table. See what I'm doing? Clicking and dragging it, you can drag it right off the slide into the, well, sort of no man's land area, and it doesn't disappear. It just stays right there. Now, if I were to play this slideshow, you won't see that table because it was removed from the slide. So if I just go through and click and I'm going through the slides, that's fine. Now I'm going to escape from the running the slideshow and go back to where I was, and notice that the table is still there. If I want to bring it back to the slide, I can. It remains as a kind of a resource for me. So I don't have to delete it. I can just shove it off the slide temporarily or permanently and just leave it off into this blank area away from the slide. And when I run the slideshow, you won't see it. So in this example, I'm just going to start a slide, a table. I'm going to insert a table. So a table can be inserted a number of different ways, but the first thing that you can do is go to Insert, the Insert ribbon up here, and just click Table, and you can just hover your mouse. I'm not clicking anything or dragging. I'm just hovering it to see what kind of table I want. Okay, another thing I can do, I'm not going to click anything. I'm going to move off of that grid. Another thing you can do is just click right here, Insert Table, and this is another way of inserting a table, and you can then tell it how many columns you want it to have and how many rows you want it to have. So let's say I want to put one in that's 5 columns and 2 rows. So I click OK, and that's what this table becomes. Now, if I wanted to click down and put another table in here, I could, but you probably won't ever need to put 2 tables on one slide. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns and 1, 2 rows. Now, another thing you can do with a table is you can click into the very last cell of the table, the very last cell in the lower right corner of it, and press your Tab key, and it creates a whole new row below the table. Well, not below the table, but at the bottom of the table, it creates a whole new row. Now, every time I press my Tab key, Tab, 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 it tabs over into the next cell to the right. And as I get to the end of that row, if I tab one more time, it'll again create another row. So I just keep tabbing until I have as many rows as I want. So those are a couple of little tips that can maybe help you out. Now notice this table has different color blue stripes and white stripes in it. That's because this particular slideshow had a style already applied to its original table over here that I removed off the slide. So it just assumed I wanted to use the same style. Well, once you click inside of a table, notice these little round resizing handles. That means the table is selected, and if you look up here at the top, you can see the table tools have the contextual ribbon has been displayed, and I have 2 tabs I can use to format my table. I can use the Design tab, or I can use the Layout tab to make changes to how the table looks and how it behaves. So if I go into the Design tab, for example, and look at this shading, or rather table styles gallery, it has lots of different styles of tables and color choices I can make. So it's really up to you how you want your table to look. You also have special effects you can apply. The table can be beveled, it can have all kinds of fancy reflections and shadows and things on it. But I wouldn't recommend using too many special effects on a table. It's kind of it's lost in the data. You want people to concentrate on what's in the table rather than on the table itself. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to insert and work with a chart that can illustrate data. When you insert a new slide, as I said once before, you can use these little pale icons to insert certain things, such as pictures, tables, smart art. But this little one with the 3 bars on it, this is what you can click to insert a chart. So if you click that, it brings up the Insert Chart dialog box, in which case you can then click through on the far left-hand side. You can click through the different styles of charts available and pick one that you want. Let's say you want to use a column chart. This is a clustered column chart. And then up here along the top there are different styles of that type of chart. So if you want it to look more 3D, you can maybe choose this one. And then when you click OK in the lower right corner, a chart is brought into the slide. It's created in the slide, along with a little window. It's taking a moment to get there, along with a window of an Excel spreadsheet. And you'll notice that this is the window I'm talking about. It's this little green barred one. It says Chart in Microsoft PowerPoint, but this is really kind of an Excel spreadsheet look to it. And those of you that know how to use Excel, you'll recognize that. Now what it's doing here is it's showing you how to provide the data for this chart. If you look at the chart, it's very generic. You have 4 different clusters. You have category 1, category 2, and so on, and just some random numbers. Well, it's giving you this spreadsheet format up here to actually enter the data you want to enter. These category 1, category 2, and all that, those are just placeholders for you. So I could just say, instead of category 1, let's say I can click up here into category 1 and type maybe, I don't know, the year 2012, press enter, and notice that the chart down here did change. As soon as I pressed enter, it took that new data, new entry that I put. Category 2, I'm going to click in there and put 2013, press enter. Category 3, 2014, press enter. Category 4, 2015, press enter. So maybe you're trying to show data across 4 different years that are consecutive. And so again, you can go in here and basically change the placeholders to the data that you want, like series 1, series 2, series 3. These series are representing the 3 colored bars. So series 1 might be the blue, series 2 might be the green, and series 3 might be the orange. And you can call these something different. So instead of blue, green, orange, you could say, I don't know, skates, press enter. Series 2 might be hula hoops, press enter. And series 3 might be baseballs. Okay, let's say you sell games and sporting equipment. So, and you can adjust the width of these cells and columns as you wish. So that's what I have. Now you'll notice that nothing changed over here on the left of the chart, but it did change down here in the legend. So now the blue says skates, the green says hula hoops, and the orange says baseballs. So now I know what I'm looking at, and I can go in and change the rest of the data as and change it and put it into dollar signs, or dollar amounts or whatever it is I want to do. When I'm finished with this chart and putting the data, I can close the chart. I don't have to save the chart because this is the chart. It is what the data is illustrated as. And so this is a lot easier to understand rather than just typing a bunch of lines and saying, well, in 2012 we earned this much money on roller skates. It's a lot easier for people to grasp the concept when you have a visual chart like that. And when you're done with it, you can give a chart a title. You can, if you decide you want to change the design of the chart, you can click inside the chart and go up here to the contextual ribbon where it says Chart Tools, and you have Design and you have Format. So again, you can make changes to the chart and how it looks, different color choices. You can change the colors. There's all different kinds of things you can do. So tables and charts, there's really an endless number of ways you can use them to illustrate your ideas and information in PowerPoint.